Let's do a call for an uprising. A call for an uprising is a conspiracy theorist who believes in the QAnon stuff. He believes that there is a secret cabal of Satanists within the media and government who are abducting and murdering children to harvest a chemical in their brain known as adrenochrome to use as a recreational drug. This is a thing human beings believe who vote. Anyway, here he is talking about how he thinks that satanic abuse is happening out in the open. Daddy Sume with 10 bits. I mean, honestly, if I could make money rambling about alien BS I pulled out of my butt, I would do it myself. Yeah, I get it. I don't know. There's part of me that just can't do it. That's why I do this. Like, I could probably easily, if I wanted to, make up conspiracy nonsense, and I think I'm capable of, like, doing stuff like this. I can talk to a camera, and I can talk to groups of people, and I think I manage doing streams relatively well. So if I wanted to scam QAnon people, for instance, and just make up a bunch of QAnon stuff, I could probably make more money than I do now. But there's something in me that just is like, no, that's destructive. I can't put that level of malice out into the universe. It just doesn't feel right. Chozo Lore Prime, thank you for continuing your gift sub, and Melodic Soul, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Ethics suck, yeah, they do.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. You got to see this clip to believe it. I know I say that often, but just more of the same, right? But we're crazy people, pointing out the repetition, showing you how they are revealing all of this stuff in front of our faces, and everybody thinks it's a big joke. Well, the joke's really on them.
Okay, so this is from some reality show. It looks like reality competition show. Maybe like a Fear Factor, or who knows. I'm guessing Fear Factor, but it doesn't even really look like... I guess I don't know what a pool of blood looks like, so I can't really say it doesn't look real, but it looks a little too bright red to be real blood. I feel like real blood's darker than that, especially in the concentration you would have in a tub, but... Like, look at how clear it is. There's no way that's real blood. Like, it looks pink. Pig's blood, gotta pump pig's blood. Is pig's blood look different than human blood? Dr. Gamble, can we just watch a Neil Breen for Tinfoil Tuesday? At least he's funny when showing stupidity. Oh, shoot. Where did that go? Mix it with a thinning agent? Oh, maybe. Oh.
With actual guts.
What is this, Survivor? Looked like a clip from Survivor, maybe? Because they were in a jungle. I don't really watch reality TV, so I'm not familiar with what that was from.
You must now read the instructions.
Housemates, welcome to the blood money ceremony. It's for me.
Nobody cares. And he thinks these are real satanic rituals and not just a silly thing they're doing on some reality TV show.
One other house.
He's not right in the head.
Mate, to lose half their Bitcoin.
You must choose one other housemate to bankrupt. They will lose all of their coins.
Okay, so that was a clip from Big Brother based on the little article that it just showed
seems
very
normal,
briefly.
right? I mean,
so it's from some season of Big Brother that was probably occult themed or something. And then we have a thing from American Horror Story, which is a horror TV show. So yeah, this dude's bathing in blood. It's a horror show. It's supposed to be creepy.
it's just, you know, somebody just came up with it off the top of their head. Some writer who's making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and producers of the UK.
Oh boy, I bet writers in Hollywood, especially for reality shows or American Horror Story, I bet they wish they made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't think the Writers Guild is that good. 74 Quinn 74, don't be ridiculous as a Satanist. I do this every Sunday.
Okay, Big Brother, right? You get Big Brother, which is enough of a telltale sign, right? With the whole show was about pretty much being monitored 24/7. I mean, Big Brother's already keeping an eye on us.
Does he also think Daleks kill people voted off Big Brother? I know what you're referencing, but in that episode, it wasn't the Daleks that were killing people. It was... Wait, was that the episode where it turned out it was Daleks killing people? Were they the ones in charge of the satellite? I think it was, right? No, he shut that down, and then I think it got taken over by Daleks, right? I haven't seen season 1 in a while. I've been trying to rewatch it.
And then you get the TV show Big Brother, which isn't ironic enough that they do a blood ritual. Now, people will say, well, it's not a real blood ritual.
Yeah, saying something in a sarcastic tone doesn't automatically make it untrue. It's not real. It's not real blood, or if it is, it's not human blood. It's like, I very much doubt it's even animal blood, because there would be sanitation issues and infection issues. So it's probably whatever they use for fake studio blood. I think it's like corn syrup that's colored a certain way, mixed with some other stuff. Anyway, yeah, they're not using real blood.
There's nothing
bro.
funny about the tools of capitalism.
Dr. Gamble with 10 bits. Is it goat blood? If it's not goat blood, it doesn't count as satanic.
Well, it's actually a...
Oh, yeah. Satanic on the bingo card. Do I have that one? Doon, 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 doon. I don't have it, but if you do, mark it off.
bunch of things going on if you actually paid attention to what they were saying in those clips, but the show added a new twist called Blood Money, right? Blood Money, as you see the Illuminati pyramids and the all-seeing eyes on the wall.
Yeah, they're doing it thematically, intentionally for the show. You're literally looking at the set for a show that was intended to look like some sort of satanic Illuminati thing and going, it's real. No, it's a set for a TV show that's using that theming. That doesn't make it real. Like when you see, I don't know, Doctor Who, do you think that makes the TARDIS real? Do you think the TARDIS set is a real time machine just because it functions that way on the TV show? It's a set for a TV show. It's not real. Spurious symbology? I don't know if that's spurious, because he's literally looking at what is supposed to be like an Illuminati pyramid and saying, that's an Illuminati pyramid, so I don't think that counts.
These people had to reach into...
Oh yeah, Illuminati Freemasons. That is good on there. Do I have Illuminati Freemasons? Dang, I don't.
What was they're claiming is real blood. Of course, it probably is real blood. Pig's blood, right? Remember, these people...
I doubt it.
Drink blood. They feed off of blood, especially...
No, they don't. Very few people actually drink blood. Very, very few. There was an episode of My Strange Addiction where there was someone who drank blood, and they went to the doctor in that episode, and the doctor was like, you should not be drinking animal blood. You should not be doing that. You're gonna catch some kind of disease.
The blood of the youth, young children. That's why they were always showing that in movies to desensitize people from it. But here...
No, that doesn't even make sense. That's not the case. No, it's in movies and stuff because that's spooky. It's scary. In what way would that be desensitizing people to it? You think tomorrow they're going to come out and be like, oh, by the way, we're drinking the blood of the youth, and everyone will be like, well, I saw that in a movie once, so I guess it's fine. It's a ridiculous worldview.
Here's what's even funnier, too. So, if there's Big Brother open, it's...
I don't think that counts as vampires. That's not vampires. Vampires are a very specific thing. If he says the word vampires, I'll count it. But unless he says vampires, no. Because you can have people drinking blood who aren't vampires. Like, the one key trait of a vampire is not drinking blood, necessarily. It's typically, like, being undead, turning into a bat. I don't know. Vampires drink blood, but not everyone who drinks blood is a vampire, is how I would call that.
Bank of Big Brother, involving a brand new Big Brother currency.
Logarth, drinking blood can kill you because of the iron content, literally iron poisoning.
Coin, right? So they're play off of Bitcoin, right? The new currency plays a very important role.
When did this turn into... What about Bitcoin? What does Bitcoin have to do with drinking blood?
Roll throughout the season. Big Brother told the housemates that they would have the chances to acquire big coins through task twists and challenges. Revealing the very first way the big coins would matter, Big Brother explained to the group that there would be no nominations this week, and instead the 3 housemates with the fewest coins will face eviction before
Oh, blood coins? I keep hearing bitcoins for some reason.
the blood money test in the evening. The housemates at risk, okay, nobody cares who they were, but in the blood money ceremony, one at a time, housemates had to pick a coin, one of these big coins, right? These
No, it's Bitcoin? Okay.
bitcoins out of a pool.
That's weird. Let me look this up. Big Brother Bitcoin. Big Brother Blood. Big Brother Blood vs. Water. Big Brother Blood vs. Water, also known as Big Brother 8, is the 8th season of Suitman's Big Brother, which premiered in 2018. Blah blah blah. Is this the season he's talking about? I'm not familiar. Big Brother Blood. Okay. Big Brother housemates cover their faces and hands in blood after eviction twist. Dr. Gamble with 10 bits. With all the talk of coins, I want to bring a blood bank into this, but he won't. But I know he won't. I want him to... Oh, you want him to bring a blood bank into this, but he won't. Probably not, but you never know. Blood money task. Big Brother... So this is the 28... Why is he even talking about this season from 2018? I'm assuming the Big Brother season in 2018 was just themed after this. Like, that's just a theme for the season because the show's been on forever. Oh, boy.
Of blood. On the coins were either forfeits for their own coin total or powers they could use to change others' totals, right? I mean, how much...
Oh, I missed a bit message. Stellar Sea Cow with 10 bits. I crave blood when my anemia gets too low and will be like, oh, I must need a transfusion.
More stuff needs to be out there for people to wake up. You know, I've covered this before from Will Ferrell, right? I'm sure everybody who watches this channel, who has watched for a while, you remember the Will Ferrell video I did where they performed a blood ritual, right? They made comedy out of it, satire out of it, to pretend like, oh, it was a big funny thing. Nobody in the crowd was laughing. Everybody.
I mean, I don't know about this, but like Will Ferrell blood. Ew, when you type in Will Ferrell blood type is the first one. Why do I need to know a random celebrity's blood type? Will Ferrell in a bucket of blood, 1995. 1995, Will Ferrell in a bucket of blood. Oh, was this a movie? Okay. I haven't seen this movie. I haven't seen a Will Ferrell movie in quite a while, so I have no idea what this is from.
You like my cat? To be buying various... Saying?
Will Ferrell. A bucket of blood from 95 or 98. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. A Bucket of Blood, also known as The Death Artist, is a 1995 American comedy horror television remake of a 1959 film of the same name. The 1995 remake follows the original closely, adapting it to a contemporary setting. The film was directed by comedian Michael McDonald, produced by Roger Corman, who produced the original film, and co-written by McDonald and Brendan Broderick, based on the 59 screenplay by Charles B. Griffith. The plot revolves around Walter Paisley. Charles B. Griffith. That name sounds so familiar. Charles B. Griffith. What did he write? Did he just do a lot of the Corman films? Filmography at Conquer the World, Gunslinger. Oh, yeah. He did a ton. He did a ton of schlocky movies. Oh, yeah. He wrote the original Little Shop of Horrors. That's where I recognize his name from.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
That makes sense. Dr. Gamble with 50 bits. Don't just me, Hannah. I must validate my blood type through the blood types of my peers. That was hard to read. Did you typo something? I don't know. Either way, it looks like this is a movie where there's maybe a satanic ritual or something. I don't know. Let me see. Control F. Satanic. Does that come up? Okay. Blood. 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 Blood, 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 blood. Don't know.
He was creeped out. And you have Will Ferrell with the Baphomet horns, the mirror, dumping blood on one another.
Yeah, that's part of the movie plot, I'm guessing. Like, that's supposed to be funny, right?
With, you know, chanting Illuminati, wearing the all-seeing eye, right? And what they do is they're showing you this, they're revealing it to...
I want to try and find this clip so I know what he's talking about. Will Ferrell, blood ritual.
We have this
Chris Gethard show. Will Ferrell performs a ritual of the minds on True TV. Let me see. This is on the True TV thing, so I'll speed it up.
Let us stare upon.
Oh, this looks very serious and not at all like a comedy sketch. This is what he's like. They're doing satanic rituals out in the open. Boy, you'd think the Satanists could get some actual deer antlers and not ones clearly carved from styrofoam.
His baby skin and chest hair, which can be accurately summed up as
This is like this is a comedy bit. Hey, a call for an uprising. This is a sketch they're doing. You see the funny people dancing in the background? It's a joke.
A boy.
Is Will Ferrell DMing?
Now the subject shall bathe in the blood of a gifted turtle. This will make your show irresistible to viewers. It will be like one of those live NBC musicals that makes everyone lose their goddamn minds. But to be truly great, the host must... This one is just repeat after... Increase the number...
So, it's a comedy sketch, as you might imagine, since Will Ferrell's involved. And this idiot thinks it's real.
To everyone. But they're making a joke of it to desensitize people. So that's why we have a generation of...
Or they're just making a joke. Which, let's Occam's razor this, folks. That comedy actor Will Ferrell is doing a comedy sketch with another comedian on his talk show. Or they're secretly performing a real satanic ritual which involves people in spandex outfits dancing in the background while Will Ferrell wears styrofoam antlers and reads from a prop book.
Such stupid people who think that they literally...
I just got into this cult. Where do I sign up? I got to get into this cult. Where do I sign up?
They are so dumb and naive that they think that they do this on these shows to troll us, right? That the producers just...
That's not what the word troll means. It's just a bit.
Happen to watch, you know, small YouTube channels like mine and others out there. You know, and I say small because there are 300,000 millions of people watch these shows. And they're just doing it to attack people like me and others.
Oh my god. Imagine the delusions of grandeur to think they're doing a comedy bit on TV about Satanists or something, or like Illuminati. Clearly this is directed at me. No. No one in the production of that show knows anything about you. You psychopath. My goodness, please get medicated.
Other channel, oh, you know, let's make fun of them, and we're going to put millions of dollars into our budget so that we can mock truthers, because...
I definitely don't think the styrofoam antlers cost millions of dollars. I don't know what that show was on True TV or whatever. I very much doubt it has a budget in the millions of dollars per episode.
These people who believe in the Illuminati are crazy, even though...
Yes, because the Illuminati doesn't exist as an entity the way you people think it does.
There's nothing but evidence that they exist. There's nothing...
No, there's not. They don't exist. Where do you people get this crap?
But evidence that secret societies exist. All you got to do, like I've said a million times, is look it up in your town. Find a Freemason lodge, right?
Yeah, it's a fraternity for men who aren't in college. Just a fraternity. They aren't secretly puppeteering the world. They're renting out their lodge for quinceañeras. Like, they're not secretly in charge of the earth.
You'll see the same symbols inside the lodge. You'll see the all-seeing eye, the black and white tile, all this stuff that we see in the mainstream. Or are you saying that Katy Perry and all these musicians are just trolling all of us with these signs and symbols?
No, they're not trolling you. You have paranoid delusions, so you pick up on these things that they're using, in this case, for comedy, or in the case of if someone has like an all-seeing eye in a music video or whatever, because it's a pretty prolific symbol. It shows up in a lot of places. It's on American money. Like, it's not exactly an obscure thing. And then you, in your paranoid delusions, decide that this is somehow a message either to you or to other Illuminati members or to Satanists. It's not them trolling you. It's not them doing anything but making whatever they're making. I know that's not as interesting. I know that doesn't make you feel righteous, that you're secretly, I'm fighting the good fight and trying to stop the evil Illuminati. No, you're not. You're a weirdo with a YouTube channel spouting nonsense. Stop with these delusions of grandeur.
They're putting millions of dollars into these productions. I mean, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So,
Stellar Sea Cow with 10 bits. In my town, the Masonic Temple is a huge building, and it's a tourist attraction. I genuinely think it's the tallest building in my city. That's pretty interesting. And Daddy Sume, the bones!
There's nothing funny about the tools.
We're seeing more and more of these blood rituals on television now. Obviously, you all know that I've been covering, you know, the cannibalism for years. I've been covering, you know, the drinking of the blood, right? I just recently covered, you know, drinking. They're talking about drinking young blood can cure cancer, and it could.
There's nothing funny about the tools.
No one is saying that, you absolute psychopath. Logarth with 10 bits. I was in Demolay, which is junior Masons, and it was the most surreptitious thing the Masons ever did was drink all our soda in the common fridge. That's pretty evil.
Defy the aging process to bloodbaths, right? We've seen, you know, musicians, like I've said a million times, like Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly.
Like, let me give you an example. I don't think they were Freemasons, but like my grandfather was part of a lodge. It wasn't the Masons, but it was some sort of like men's fraternity. And they would put on certain events in the town, and I would help volunteer with those events. So I've been in the lodge, I've been in, you know, and I've seen the people who are there. They're just a bunch of old guys having fun with each other. Like, it's not evil. It's not them plotting to do something. It's literally just a club for dudes. Chill out.
And all these people laying in pools of blood.
Yeah, it's because it's striking imagery. Like, literally, Eminem, controversial figure.
There's nothing funny
Not the
about
people
the
who
tools
like
of
him necessarily, but there are a lot of, like, moral crusaders who find things wrong with Eminem. So him being in a pool of blood or in a bathtub of blood is striking imagery that plays into that image of him as a controversial figure. You understand? Daddy Sume with 10 bits. I'm in the Order of Columbus, which is really just a way for old men to roleplay as knightly order. Thanks, Grandpa. Yeah.
Right? I mean, when are people going to see the repetition? The patterns are right in front of their faces.
No. There's tropes that you're seeing and you're connecting, but just because sitting in a bathtub of blood is a trope doesn't mean it's secret messaging. It means it's a common imagery used to evoke certain feelings or to give a certain image to the person who is in the bathtub. It's not secret. It's not malicious. It's literally just like, okay, what do we do for this photo shoot? Let's have Eminem in a pool of blood because, you know, he's a controversial figure and that's extreme imagery. That's as far as it goes.
You know, it's a matter of breaking free from your pride. That's really what it comes down to. And I'm not
says the guy who thinks that TV shows are literally talking to him when he has 385,000 subscribers and his videos get like 50,000 views. Clearly, the people on TV are talking to me.
Talking about you, the listener, because you've broken free of that. And as most of you are followers of Jesus Christ as I am, we know what a deadly sin pride is to have.
Following.
Right? And why do you think that is that God feels that pride is such a bad sin to have? right? Think about it. Because look how hard it is to break people from. Now, of course, pride is bad in a lot of ways because, nobody wants to deal with a prideful, narcissistic person.
The lack of self-awareness this guy is extolling is amazing. He doesn't even realize he's literally talking about himself, and the fact that he's so prideful that he believes that he is one of the very few people on the planet to somehow tap into a secret truth about reality, and that he's fighting the good fight on YouTube in order to try and take down a global cabal of secret Satanists. The pride involved in that level of delusion and that level of self-aggrandizement is immeasurable.
But people who are prideful don't want to believe that they're wrong about anything that's going on.
Again, this describes him perfectly.
So they believe, I put 20 years into school, I got my PhD.
Deep state. There we go.
They believe in the system. They love the system. They refuse to see the signs and symbols. And that's because they're pride. Because if you can't see the patterns that are going on, if you watch this channel and you don't see it, I'm making a video on everything. I'm not passing up on stuff that I see. You think I want to sit there and make a video about Mary Poppins?
Is that Milo? Again, here we have another figure who is very controversial. Milo. Someone who's, I think, pretty awful. But he's playing into this idea that he's a controversial figure, again, by bathing in a bathtub of what looks like blood. It's prop blood. This is a trope. People who are controversial figures, when they're taking photo shoots about themselves, will play into tropes of controversial imaging in order to get across the fact that they are aware of their public perception of themselves, and they are playing into it. This is a common trope.
Poppins, Mary Poopins. Somebody be like, oh, he makes the video because he wants to make money for... I'm showing you every single day the patterns, right?
Again, these are not patterns. You are a delusional person who is making connections where there are none.
From Mary Poppins to the House of Clock in the Walls to, American Horror Story. These
House with the Clock in the Walls was a really good children's movie. I don't know if people have seen that. It's really good.
These are all within a month. To be with...
If you've ever had this
feeling, I accidentally hit a button. Whoopsie.
American Horror Story. These are all within a month. To Bewitched, to Charmed, to Witches the remake, right? The repetition and the patterns are there. I am going out of my...
We got a bingo? Who got a bingo? Duty Doro? Send me a bingo card.
Way to show you these things.
So I can just double check it.
To help break you free from it. Because the more you see, the more your mind starts realizing that there is a pattern in play. There is control in place.
Let me check the bingo card real quick. Spurious symbology is evidence. Did we decide that that was a thing? I thought I said no on the spurious symbology. Okay, people, stop clicking on all the stuff. I already saw it. Jesus Christ. I thought we decided no on the spurious symbology of... Oh, well, no, he's doing the thing with the blood. So, okay, I'll count that. Reptoids, yes. Free space, deep state, word salad. Yeah, you got it. Good job. Logarth with 10 bits. I heard clocks on a wall and my blood ran cold thinking of Lord Cringe again. Duty Doro. So let me go and get you your sub if you don't already have one. Okay.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Enjoy your gift sub.
And your mind needs to break free from it. And when it sees these patterns, it can break free. So this is stuff that's just going to continue to go on and continue to be normalized, right? Because listen, think about 100 years ago. If suddenly, obviously there was no TV, right? So just say that there was something going on in the town, right? And they're like, oh, in the town tonight, we're going to have a play or we're going to do something. And in the play, they did this. Just say in the play, right? It was fiction, but, and everybody goes in there. Do you think that they would just be like applauding this and they'd be like, oh, it's artistic?
I mean, Hamlet literally, or not Hamlet, which one am I thinking of? Macbeth literally has, like, witches in it doing witchy stuff. So the thing that you're describing, yes, has happened. Plays have had, like, the occult and stuff taking place on stage for a long time. That's not a new thing. What are you talking about?
If they saw this, somebody dipping their hands in blood.
Oh, yeah, because people get used to stuff, because special effects are better than they've ever been before. Like, if we're talking 100 years ago, like 1920, I'm sure fake blood existed, but it would probably be relatively hard to get your hands on if you're a small town in the middle of nowhere. But, like, if you're using it in a play, I'm sure it would be fine. Macbeth, yeah.
Getting covered in human blood or whatever blood, even animal blood. The people who were performing this play they'd be done.
Okay. And there are a lot of things that exist in art forms today that would have been considered scandalous in the past. That's because as time has gone on, people have gotten more open to all forms of, like, different fun stuff. Like a slasher movie today would have been unacceptable in the 1950s. Like Psycho, which by today's standard is incredibly tame, although it's still an incredibly well-made movie. Psycho was considered shocking at the time, whereas today it's not considered shocking at all, and if you showed something like Saw to someone, or one of the Saw sequels to someone in the 50s, they'd probably vomit everywhere. This is how things happen. Like, people get more accustomed to this stuff over time. It doesn't mean that the thing that they are getting accustomed to is true, right? Annelid with 20 bits. Has he said what their ultimate goal is? World domination, Satan defeating God in a backhanded way, transforming humans into demons? What does he think all these clues are leading to? No idea. No idea. Yeah, George Romero was considered controversial and gory. Yeah, which is hilarious considering what we see today in the media. Like, yes, people get desensitized to violence, and things that would have been unacceptable in the past are acceptable today. But that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That's people recognizing that, like, something that's fictional is fictional, and if your story can be told using gore, your story is best served using some sort of violent imagery, and that's fine, because movies aren't real. Movies are basically a safe space where people can act creatively. That doesn't make what's happening in the movie reflective of reality.
I mean, we know what they would do to them. They wouldn't be alive another week. Okay, they wouldn't be. Nobody would sit there.
You think in the 1920s, if someone put on a shocking play, that they'd be murdered? No. What? You think 100 years ago was like 1712 or something? The Stellar Sea Cow with 10 bits. What about the fact that public executions were considered to be entertainment until the late 1800s, early 1900s, and that was real blood and death? Yeah. That also. Violence used to be a much bigger part of people's real life, which I think probably plays into why it's more considered acceptable today. Because think about it. Like, human beings today in places like America or the UK or Australia, or basically most Western countries, whatever you want to call it, English-speaking countries, I don't know. We don't deal with violence viscerally on a day-to-day basis usually. Unless you're literally a soldier who is in combat, you've probably never seen a person die. Not in person, at least. Although you may if you've been in an accident or something, but even that's a traumatic event. Whereas death was a part of everyday life for people in the past. So when we see something like death in a movie, or like we would go and watch a Saw movie, there's a level of disconnect between the violence depicted on screen and the real-world counterpart. Just because we don't deal with that in day-to-day lives. We're very fortunate in that way. Someone in the 1920s, though, a lot of the people, if we're talking about the 1920s, probably dealt with World War I, one of the bloodiest conflicts in human history. So to show them something that viscerally disgusting is probably going to trigger a lot of people's PTSD, even though they might not have a word for it yet. Like, There are reasons that these things are different. Context matters.
And go, wow, that's real creative art. How interesting. People would be freaked out because people then weren't desensitized from this stuff. This is gore. This is graphic. This is disgusting.
Right. But that's fine. That's also fine. That's how anything works. Visual medium has been around for a long time now, and people are used to seeing stuff like this. It's supposed to be like, ooh, they're dipping into a thing of blood. It's not real blood, man, and this isn't related to anything that's happening in real life.
Disgusting. That's human blood that they claim, or whatever, and any kind of blood, okay? But now
it's clearly not, though. It's just prop blood.
now, because they've shown it in every horror movie, they show it on these shows, they show it here, they show it there. They're desensitizing people to it because when this stuff starts going on in your local town and they say, well, freedom of religion or freedom of this, right? Obviously, the only people who would go against it and protest it would be us, followers of...
Hey, bud, I know Satanists. Satanism isn't actually about, like, what you think it is. It's not about, like, sacrificing children and doing blood rituals. Satanism, depending on the kind of Satanism you're talking about, because it's not one unified group. There are different people who call themselves Satanists. But if we're talking about, like, LaVeyan Satanism or something, it's not, like, literally about worshiping Satan most of the time. It's about, like, living your life in a way that's very humanist in nature. It's not about slaughtering people or having blood rituals. Please read a book.
Christ, because we know what they're doing. We know that they're Satanists. We know that they're preying off of young blood. But other people would be...
Hold on. Like, I have the Satanist Bible around here somewhere. Let me go find it. Let's see, I have some books someone sent me. We have The Devil's Notebook by Anton LaVey, and we also have The Satanic Witch. Let me look in the closet to see if I have the actual Satanic Bible. Baha says it's in there. I can't find it. Let me see
be
if I can
desensitized.
actually
They go,
find
whatever, it's pig blood. You know? You see me comment?
Let me see. I kept that going accidentally. Let me go back a little bit. Satanic rules or something. LaVeyan Satanism. The 11 Satanic Rules for Earth. I'm not sure if... Yeah, here we go. Anton LaVey of LaVeyan Satanism. These are basically a version of the 10 Commandments, though there's 11. It's like a satanic commandments thing. Do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked. Do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. When in another's lair, show him respect, or else do not go there. If a guest in your lair annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy. Do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signal. I don't think these are the ones that I'm looking for. There was something else that I was looking for. Satanic commandments. Dun 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 dun. Here we go. Fundamental tenets of Satanism, of whatever group this is, the Satanic Temple. 1. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. 2. The struggle for justice is an ongoing necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. 3. One's body is inviolable. subject to one's own will alone. 4, the freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend, to willfully, unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forgo one's own. 5, belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. 6, people are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. And 7, every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. So there are a lot of Satanists, if you're like someone who's part of, like, I don't know, the Satanic Temple. Like, it's just humanism wrapped in a satanic texture.
Movie. They show it on these shows. They show it here. They show it there. They're desensitizing people to it because when this stuff starts going on in your local town and they say, well, freedom of religion or freedom of this, right? Obviously, the only people who would go against it and protest it would be us, followers of Christ, because we know what they're doing. We know that they're Satanists. We know that they're preying off of young blood. But other people would be desensitized. They go, whatever. It's pig blood. You know? You see me comment?
I don't even think it's pig blood. I think it's just prop blood. They haven't used pig's blood for prop blood since, like, the 30s. They usually make it out of, like, corn syrup and other stuff now.
Once I get, when I...
For health reasons, obviously.
When I cover some of these videos on, you know, the blood of children and all this stuff and how important it is to black magic, people literally, they're like, they're so desensitized and so just out of their minds is insane. They literally defend it and they go, well, you eat chicken? Do you...
Ben42, hey Hannah, love the streams and everything you do. Will you watch or cover the debate tonight? I'm a little nervous as I believe Trump will take it to the mud more than ever. I'm not even going to watch it. I can't deal with the stress. So, but I'm pretty sure the Surfs or Jake will probably cover it. So
you eat turkey on Thanksgiving? It's the same thing. It's like, wait a minute. You're talking about, and you know what I mean? You're talking about the blood of a child, them bathing in it.
No one is bathing in the blood of children. You have made this up. This is a delusion that you have. It is not real.
Drinking it, and then you want to compare it to somebody eating a turkey on Thanksgiving or anything like that. You know, it's unbelievable. It really is. And people are just so desensitized to it because every channel you turn on, from Sci-Fi to USA to NBC, you name it, they're showing stuff like this. Every horror movie, right? It's like, what can they do now to top this? Oh, we can cut...
Yeah, it's a horror movie. You're supposed to be horrified. Do you get that?
The guy's eyeball out. And then the guy could eat his eyeball. And people are just like, oh, yeah, you know, I've seen that. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's a movie. People don't care because it's a movie, because those things aren't actually happening.
Right? And that's the whole point of desensitizing people.
Stephen J. Neptune Man says, if Satan worshippers are sacrificing children and using black magic, wouldn't we know this by now? Yeah. The Satanic Panic in, like, the 80s also believed all this nonsense about Satanists, like, hurting animals and children. It's just not the case.
Well, that's why I'm saying, you know, 100 years ago, this stuff wouldn't be allowed to go on. Nobody would look...
Okay, a lot of things wouldn't be allowed to go on 100 years ago. That doesn't mean that 100 years ago they were right. Like, black people also didn't have rights in the 1920s. Gay people weren't allowed to be out. Trans people weren't even discussed. Like, 100 years ago is not the height of human enlightenment. This is literally fake blood. It's not even animal blood. It's like, look at it. Come on. This does not look like real blood. It's for a show. They're doing a bit. They're like, ooh, we're doing Big Brother, and it's like a Satanist thing. Ooh. You're literally complaining about, like, a Halloween prop.
Look at it and go, oh, that's creative art. They'd go, get the hell out of this town. Or they would kill, you know, they'd be lit on fire or whatever they would do to witches, right? They would know.
Do you think that people were burning people at the stake for being witches in the 1920s? Again, I repeat, please read a book.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
74 Quinn 74, 150 bits for reading my tenets on stream. Thank you.
That this was a satanic ceremony. But now everybody's been dumbed down to think that witches don't exist, that Satanists don't exist.
Because they don't. There are Wiccans, but they don't have actual magic powers. And Satanists exist in the sense that there are people who, like, follow tenets and follow a religion called Satanism, but they are not sacrificing animals and children.
Exist, and they have these satanic organizations. They pretend that they're atheists. Everybody believes them, and what they
Because they are. Because we're talking about the Satanic Temple, because it is atheists.
say, because they sound articulate and they speak well, right? And that's how they get away with this stuff.
Or because it's the truth. How about that one?
They wouldn't have been allowed to. But now everyone's convinced that this stuff doesn't go on and it doesn't exist.
Because it doesn't. If you have actual evidence to the contrary, you would have presented it. But you don't. Because it's not true. So all you can do is impotently make your stupid YouTube videos and be like, oh, I saw this thing in a music video and it scared me, so it means Satanism is real and people are killing children. If you had evidence, you would have shown it. You don't. So knock it off.
So I keep showing everyone these patterns and these things, and they still go, yeah, but it's fiction. It's just a show.
Because it is. Like, if you were going around saying, the earth is flat, you'd probably hear a lot of people say, no, it's not, it's round. And it's not because they're part of some conspiracy, it's because you're wrong and they're trying to correct you. People repeat correct answers because they're correct.
Oh, come on, Call. It's we don't even know if it's real blood. It could be paint.
No, I know it's not real blood because there's no production on the planet that's going to risk people getting some infection because they have a cut on their hand and then they stick their hands in animal blood. They're not going to do it. Why would they do that? It doesn't even look like real blood. Like, the only show that would do something even a little bit like that is Fear Factor, and that show hasn't been on the air in a long time. And that was the whole premise of the show, is do the gross thing.
Right? Meanwhile, you get the Illuminati eye in the background. You got a show called Big Brother, which is spying on telling you, Big Brother exists, and yet it's over.
No, it's a name for the show because they are watching the contestants on Big Brother. That doesn't mean there's a real world Big Brother a la 1984. Now, the government does spy on its citizens in the sense that they're collecting, like, everyone's metadata, and that is ridiculous, but they're not, like, Satanists. This has nothing to do with Satanism. This has nothing to do with Big Brother, the TV show.
There's nothing funny about
the delusion is so ridiculous. TV is real life. Apparently, I guess we forgot to remember that actually TV is all very real, and if something happens on TV, then it's real in real life, which is why I'm constantly waiting outside my house for a blue police box to show up and take me on adventures in space and time, because I saw it on the TV, and that means it's real.
Over everybody's head. Everything is in plain sight. Remember, this is how black magic works, right? This is how sigil magic works. They show it, they reveal it.
Hey, bud, I don't know how to break this to you, but there's no such thing as magic. Oh boy, I wish it was. That'd be cool. But it's not. Magic is not real.
And just because they might hint at it with sarcasm and these other things, that's how they keep people deceived while they're putting the spell in.
Schlock, if I die in TV, I die in real life. Yeah, that's how it works. It's Matrix rules. Dahlia, oh boy. I always have trouble with this one.
About the tools of capitalism.
Dahlia Vianney with 10 bits. I mean, if Big Brother wants to see what weird porn I watch, it doesn't bother me. It just might bother them. Wing the Ultimate Nug with 100 bits. Hannah Doctor. Daddy Sume with 10 bits. If magic was real, you better believe I would be a mage by now. Same, right? Like, if magic was real, I'd be doing it.
Casting the spell on a people. So to get UK Big Brother, more of the same crap. Amazing to me that this stuff's allowed to air on Channel 2, whatever channel, I'm talking basic cable in the UK, I don't know, BBC or something, but
those are two different things.
It's just amazing, and nobody thinks twice about it. They're so desensitized. They see the Illuminati eye and all that stuff, and they just go, "Oh yeah, like Taco Bell, Illuminati, and all this." Cause
no, they go, "Hey, I've seen that before because it's a pretty ubiquitous symbol." The all-seeing eye is used all the time. Look at Gravity Falls. Like, the big enemy at the end of Gravity Falls is literally like a living all-seeing eye. Which if you haven't seen Gravity Falls, it's really good. It's a kid's show, but like it's good. It's a very good show. Bill. And the funny thing is, the all-seeing eye, especially as it pertains to, like, American money, was symbolic of God. The all-seeing eye on American money was supposed to be the all-seeing eye of God. It's not like a secret organization. It's a religious symbol.
It's just they're so dumb they don't even realize it. We live in the dumbest time period. There's no critical.
I do agree with that, because idiots like this have a voice online, so we end up with people who believe in flat Earth and that television is real. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, wow, wee wow. Antipodian Squid giving me $150, sending a loving thank you. Did my first stream last night, and you and Jake really helped me gain the confidence to jump into it. So I just wanted to say thanks, and since I can't buy you a gift, I want you to take my money and buy one from me. Wow! Thank you, I appreciate it. That's absolutely bananas. If you're streaming now, everyone, go check out Antipodian Squid's channel on Twitch. Let me see if I can find... for $150, I'll take the time to put a link in the chat. I think that sounds fair. Antipodian... Oops. Antipodian... Let me see if I can just search with that. Antipodian... If you want to just link your channel, do so. Because I can't find a link to it easily. But yeah... Post a link to your channel, and people go and follow Antipodian Squid.
Critical thinking. There's nobody asking questions, and everybody thinks everything's a big joke. Well, the joke's going to be on them at the end if they don't shape up, figure out what's going on, and find salvation through Christ. Because they aren't fighting, these people who are Satanists who think they're fighting against Jesus and they're going to win and with transhumanism and all that stuff, they got another thing coming. They could stand there half robot, half man. I mean, when the four horsemen come, when the trumpets sound and there's lightning bolts going up their rear ends, I'd like to see them try their robotic, superpowers that they think they have. They're going to last maybe a millisecond. They're going to turn into dust.
Stephen J. Neptune Man with 10 bits. To recap, this dude thinks that the Christian devil is working with Hollywood to desensitize people to gore while Satanists cast spells and eat the blood of children. Have I got this right? Basically, yeah. That's a good, succinct way of explaining it.
It's over for them. So they need to just, these people who are so prideful and think that this stuff is okay and it's normal, get a clue, would you? I mean, really? And you guys, a listener to this channel, listeners, obviously I'm not ranting at you. You're all awake. You're all aware. You guys are great. And I thank you for the support constantly. I don't know, without you guys, if I'd be sane either in this world. It's good to know there's other like-minded people out there who are awake, care, and can see the same things that I'm seeing. So I thank you all. God bless all of you and your families.
This guy is out of his mind. I really wonder, is he going to rant about this for the rest of his life? Like, is he gonna live the rest of his life believing this nonsense? Or someday is he going to be like, you know what, I was being crazy? I hope it's the latter, because it must be scary going around believing that the world is controlled by a bunch of, like, baby-eating Satanists. Daddy Sume with 10 bits. If Japan has taught me anything, the end times will be averted by a group of spunky teenagers wielding the power of friendship and fan service. True. And a floating head in a jar. Although I don't think Zordon was a thing in Sentai.